my name's Jade, and today we're going to be discussing Genuine Fraud by Lockhart. I need the other book. If you didn't already know, Lockhart also wrote We Were Liars. I think that came out in 2014. I read it a couple years ago and I loved it. It is one of my favourite books. I really adored it. I have a video on it already, so I'm going to link that down below. And then I think this came out last year, I believe. I've only just read it, but I was so excited for it the minute I heard it was coming out because I hadn't read anything else after We Were Liars. I know she's done some other books previously though, so I will probably check them out someday. I don't really know what to say about it because her books are quite mysterious. They have this kind of almost unsettling tone to them, and in both of these you never really know 100% what's going on, and both of the narrators in these are kind of unreliable. You don't know 100% what's going on at every given second of the book. You kind of need to figure things out and presume things and just, you know, hang in there for the ride. Both of them have a lot of really poignant themes to them. I would definitely say that I preferred We Were Liars. We Were Liars is just one of my faves. It's beautiful, it's great, it's wonderful. However, that's not to say that I disliked Genuine Fraud. I really enjoyed it. I read it like that. It took me a couple days to read. It was really addictive, really fast paced. But I came out of it quite conflicted as to how I really felt about it. I think I have a few issues with it in terms of how much I believed it at times and how seamless some things were. Having said that, like I said earlier, I really enjoyed it. I do think it's really clever. I think it has the poignant themes. I think it's mysterious. It made me think. I was constantly questioning things, which I personally love that feeling when you're constantly thinking, you're constantly trying to figure out what's going on. I love it. And it's definitely really interesting and different and unique. I keep comparing the two because they're quite different, but they're both by the same author. She does similar things in both, but don't go into Genuine Fraud expecting like another We Were Liars. And I'm really glad because I like the fact that they're both so unique. I really like the covers of both of these as well. It's been a while, I feel like, since I talked about the covers of books because it's quite a vain thing to do, but I like covers of books. They're both kind of mysterious, both of them. You don't have a huge sense of what's actually going on. This one's very summery, it's very blurry, it matches the tone of the book very well, whereas this one's quite bold and in your face, which also matches the theme of the book pretty well. I really like the colour of the teal and like the contrast with the hair, and the hair, you know, it makes sense to the book, and you've got this really bold in your face font. It works well, I like it, it's pleasing to my eyes. It reminds me a lot of Intertwined, the music video for Intertwined by Jade. In terms of synopsis, I don't really know if I want to give you a synopsis. That was a big thing with We Were Liars. No one wanted to know really what it's about. Everyone's going in blind. I kind of did that with this one as well. I heard things about it way back when. All I knew is it had something about friendship in it, and so I was constantly looking out for this friendship. But it's so much more than that. It does have a book trailer, which I think if you wanted to know anything about it, check that out. Again, it has a description on the inside. I'm not going to read that out to you though because I feel like it gives away a little too much. It's super confusing, but like if you know that going in, you're constantly looking for these things, and once you start getting small pieces of the puzzle, you can then figure out what's going to happen next. Yeah, I'm going to talk in spoilers now in terms of like what would I give it. How do I rate my books? I can't even remember. I think it's like something out of 10. I don't know because I still haven't fully decided how I feel. Right now I would give it like an 8.5 ish. If you've yet to read Genuine Fraud, I recommend you leave now, or I'm going to spoil it all for you. You don't want that. You want to read the book. Go. The writing style was quite different to the writing style in We Were Liars. We Were Liars was very poetic. You know, it had the classic with the nouns as adjectives, and the whole writing style was very weird, and there was lots of metaphors, and there was lots of like whimsical poeticalness to it, if you will. It was very pretty, very abstract, and I loved that. This isn't like that. This is quite blunt. It's to the point. Lots of snappy sentences, lots of fragmentation, and I really liked that as well. It suited the tone of the book really well, I thought. Obviously this book is told backwards, which is super unique. I loved that about it. I loved everything about it. There's nothing, I don't know what else to say about that. I just thought it was really intriguing, it was really different, it was really unique. And like getting small pieces of the puzzle. Obviously you're trying to find out what happened to Imi and Paolo, and then you find that out and you're like, okay, but you also want to know her backstory and stuff because she's quite mysterious about that. So you're trying to figure it all out piece by piece. It's really interesting. I think it'd make a really cool film. It was done well and really like bold and snappy and fragmented. I think it could be really interesting. And all the details lined up really well. Like all the little seeds she planted with, for instance, Amy's dress with the blue dress, it had like pins or something down the front. Her mother made her wear it. How she mentioned that to Amy on the beach, and then later on we find out that her mum, Amy's mother, had told Jewel about it. The way all these little things added up so wonderfully, like would hear things towards the beginning, aka the end, and then would find their backstory as we went back. Everything was just really well thought out. Also, Amy's mum, Patty, mistakes Jewel for, I can't remember her name, was like Jolly or something like that, the girl with the blue hair who they tried to force to be friends because they both adopted. I didn't pick that up until afterwards, and like I read it somewhere, but like little things like that, it's all very seamless and very well thought out, and she must have had this master plan with like the time frames and stuff. I read some reviews online about how the time framing of it all and stuff confused some people and it was just too much to keep up with. I didn't personally find that a problem. I found it really easy to keep up with. She made everything pretty clear at the beginning of the chapter. You should just go back in time a little bit by little bit. And like I said, I'm the kind of person that enjoys figuring things out anyway, so it never bothered me. I loved it. I loved how actiony it was and how fast paced and how cool Jewel was, and like all the different fighting scenes were really fun to read, and I really liked that aspect. At the beginning I very much thought it was going to be like a spy ordeal, because when she talked about that, you know, that heroic backstory where she was like jumping from trees and the ant saved her, I believed it for a little while. I thought that she was some kind of spy chick, and this was not the story that I had signed up for. It took me a while to figure out that it was a fake story. I'm wondering, however, if it was unbelievable at times. For instance, Emmy's death was very quick, very sudden. I don't know if this is to point to the fact that Jewel has issues, like anger temperament issues, and she just snapped, whether deep down she wanted to kill Emmy. Because she said how she didn't want to kill Emmy, and then she was questioning it. It's all very murky, and I don't know if it, to me, is unbelievable and sudden and too sudden, or whether I like it. And I think that it is inconsistent, but it shows Jules' messed up mentality, that she's obviously not quite normal, and she doesn't think things through in the way that most people do. Or that maybe it's just even that deep down she wanted to kill Emmy because Emmy had this perfect life and she didn't care for as much as she kept saying she did. She kept trying to convince herself that Amy was her closest friend. But it was too soon. In the beginning she talks of Amy with such nostalgia and such love. And you go back and you feel sorry for her because her best friend died. You find out that she committed suicide. But then we go back even further and we see Jewel move into Amy's apartment and just kind of throw away Amy's stuff casually. And that's when I started questioning things, and I found this really interesting. Is Amy a real person? Did Jewel just make her up as like this cover up? But then I was thinking about her parents know her. People must have seen her, or they wouldn't have like keep talking about her in the way they are. And the further back we go, just the more I was questioning things like that, and the more we find out Jewel was pretending that Amy was alive and fine and well, and or like around, if nothing else. We still hadn't seen her yet. She was still missing. I loved the doubt that I had there, and I loved the way that I just had to question everything constantly. But like also the way that Jewel is so strong, and she fights all these people, and she knows so well how to hide herself and all this stuff. At times I just wonder if it's unbelievable. She's quite young. How does she know what the police are going to look for and how to do all these random little things? She could just be really smart. However, she did drop out of school. I don't know. I don't know if I believe her as a character, and I also wonder if she was inconsistent at times, especially with her trusting of people, because we go right back to the end and we have this conversation. I think his name was Andrew, the recruiter for the weird guy, you know, that approached her. She kind of gave him a little piece of her life, and there's just random times where she trusts people seemingly too easily when she's always talking about how she needs to be on the fence. And like the guy at the beginning, the bartender guy who she trusted or who she thought was friends, like after everything, getting to the end and looking back, I don't know if she would really think they were friends, because she always has such a guard up. So I'm a little bit questioning of that as well. There's little things like that, and like the fighting and the knowing what to do all the time. Obviously she messed up somewhere and she got caught, but I'm just struggling with how consistent I truly find it to be. Maybe again you could read it as showing how fragmented Jewel as a person is and how damaged she is, because she seems pretty damaged to me. She seemed pretty not okay. She latched onto Emmy way too strong. That was a very unhealthy relationship, and I don't know if it was fake. I don't know if she does have issues and she truly did like Emmy and she truly did relate to Emmy, and she'd never related to anyone like that before, and so she latched on with all her might because she'd had people taken away from her so suddenly in the past, and so many people in her past that she couldn't trust. It's all a bit of a big question. question, and I don't know how I feel about it 100% yet, but I like the fact that it's questioned and that you get to question these things, you get to look into these things more. I think it's very clever of her to do. I always love this kind of thing. I don't think I was overly shocked when we found out that she killed Amy. I think because she'd been pretending that Amy was alive and fine for so long, and she killed Brooke so easily without too much guilt, and because she seems like such a kind of not okay person, obviously with her past, her dad killing himself and her aunt not treating her well, and all the stories about the boys sexually harassing women. That seems like a very strong theme. It had a very kind of feminist-y theme in there that I wasn't anticipating, and I liked it. But Jewel is kind of an unlikable character. She's definitely unreliable, 100%. Like I said, she's kind of got issues, but she's also kind of unlikable. She goes around killing people, she goes around fighting people, messing up people's lives. There didn't seem a lot of reason for her to kill Emmy, and then after that she's just kind of trying to cover her own tracks, and she'll do it by any means possible without feeling a lot of guilt, seemingly. And I don't like her for that, which I think is interesting. I think that's everything. It definitely made me think, and it definitely makes me question like the trustworthiness of people and their true motives. Yeah. So that's everything I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have an amazing morning, afternoon, evening / night. My name's Jade. I hope I see you again next time. Goodbye. No. What?